You are now listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Podcast.
Welcome to Ride With Me, episode 116. Today is July 20, 2024, and today's guest is welcome back, George.
What's going on, guys?
Welcome back. Dude, I'm so fucking bored. I'm just going to get to it, man. I'm fucking bored that I was like, you know what, man? I got to hit up someone to come podcast. So I'm on vacation this week, and
what are you doing with yourself?
Exactly. Dude, Roger called me. He was like, hey, man, what are you doing? You sound so fucking bored. I'm like, I'm at home, bro. I'm not doing anything.
That's you have to try and stay occupied when you're on vacation. If you're not going to go somewhere, you better have projects in on the ready.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're going to be bored. I just recently took a unwanted vacation not too long ago. So that was a mess at home, bro.
Unwanted?
Unwanted. So you know how my schedule is from the mid shift, so I do the 3 to midnight.
Yeah.
One of the guys went on vacation and they hit me up and I was like, I got you, bro. Don't worry about it. I've done the nighttime. I've done the graveyard shift. I got it.
Yeah.
6 days into the graveyard. So on the last day, from Sunday to Friday, on that Friday, I was sick as a dog. I was already having a fever and I was like, whatever, bro. I got this. You know, I've worked with fevers before.
Yeah.
I went in and, did everything I needed to do. That Saturday, we were going to go to Moreno Valley to go see Chloe. And so I was like, all right, I'd run some errands, this and that real quick. When we were going out there, boom, it hit me. I was done. I was down for the count. I could barely open my eyes. Haley had to drive back from Moreno Valley, right? And I was like, okay, I just need to rest. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I needed to rest. And I was like, I'll rest on Saturday. I'll be fine. I'll call it off on Sunday, right? I'll be good for Monday. Bullshit, bro. Come Monday, I had to go to the ER.
So was it COVID?
No, it wasn't COVID. No, they tested me for it, and then they're like, "No, you're good."
I think that's the routine nowadays. It's like they're Mando.
Dude, they weren't even gonna test me for it.
Really?
But, yeah, they weren't.
Oh shit!
But Leslie, I guess, said something. I forgot what she said to the doctor, and he's like, "Yeah, I guess we can check for it, but most likely it's not." He's like, "I guess we could check for it just in case if you really want."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, can you please?" I was like, "Okay, I guess," but. I got diagnosed with like a mild case of pneumonia sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, do you smoke? I was like, I used to. He's like, how long ago? I was like, it's been a while. And he's like, so that's why your lungs are having a hard time trying to combat this. And I was like, oh, okay. So I had missed out for about a week.
So your past came back to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I was like, oh, okay, well, it is what it is. But I had stopped smoking already for years. Yeah. So, I mean, your lungs are, still recuperating. I mean, I don't know exactly how long it's going to take. I'm sure that they're jacked up already, but, it's been a long time since I smoked. So, I mean, I don't.
Around the time that I got diagnosed with diverticulitis, I had lost like 40 pounds in that time frame. And even one of my supervisors is like, dude, but you've lost so much weight. You're doing so good. I'm like, yeah, but I neglected my body for the first 38 years of my life. So it came back to bite me in the ass. He's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
We don't think about it. We're just like, let's let it ride, man. Yeah. We're still fairly young. Let's not worry about nothing. Like that little YOLO saying,
Bullshit.
But it's like,
bullshit.
Bro,
yeah.
When you get older, you'll feel that.
And that's what the boys say. Like, Dad, that means that we might have it. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're telling you guys now to nip the shit in the ass now so that you don't grow up having it. Because a lot of the shit that I have is genetics, man. So you're going to have it. So they're like, oh, God, we're not looking forward to it. And then whenever they get, like, they'll fucking cough or sneeze and they look at me like, this is your fault. Oh my God. Shut the fuck up.
No, I tell the girls the same thing. So you guys got to really take care of yourselves because diabetes runs in the family.
Yeah.
My grandma died of diabetes. I think one of our family members, I forgot who it was, they had to cut a foot.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And then they passed away. And so diabetes runs in the family, not just mine, but also Leslie's. And also, I try and tell them to kind of, take care of themselves because Leslie had a stroke. Leslie's aunt had two strokes actually, and died from the second one.
Oh fuck.
At a young age. So
Yeah.
for a while, Leslie was scared of dying because her aunt died at such a young age from a stroke. So I said, you guys really got to take care of yourselves and your body.
Yeah.
Figure out a good routine to like work out. I don't mean
Yeah.
like just hit the gym every day or something like that, but at least do some moderate exercising to kind of stay in shape and stuff. Take your vitamins, eat well, do whatever the thing is, because you don't want this, believe me.
And so you would assume that I walk a lot at work, but when I walk from my car to the store and to the cooler, it's pretty much just pacing back and forth to what I'm counting and stuff, right? It's not a real walk. Do I get does my Fitbit say I hit my steps? Yeah, it says that. But in reality, do I feel like it's working out? No, it's not.
Same.
Yesterday, we went to the gym. See, I'm telling you, I'm bored, bro. Went to the gym for the first time in, I think, a year. It's that bad, a year. And I was on the treadmill at 2.8 speed. And
so very chill.
Yeah, very chill. And then like at an incline of 8%. So kind of like if I was going on a light hike.
Okay.
20 minutes in, my hip started hurting.
Oh, shit.
And it felt like, how can I say it? Like it felt like I rubbed icy hot on it and kind of like felt like my leg kind of going numb a little bit. Yeah. I was like, oh shit. The wife right away, you better get that checked. I'm like, I haven't done this in a long time. I haven't really.
Your body's not used to it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what, I mean, I tell my mom, because my mom's up there, they're 20 years older than me. And so I said, Mom, you got to start, doing certain things that your body is not used to anymore. Yeah. You have to start shocking your body because we're decomposing. We're like slowly dying. I was like, you have to do that. Like I tell a couple of the guys, I was like, you have to lift heavy, bro. Like, I don't know what else to tell you, but you have to lift heavy.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, but this, that, you got to be careful. I was like, no. I understand being careful, and by all means, be as careful as you can, but lift heavy shit.
Yeah.
Your body will thank you for it. You will stay strong for a very long time. And it's true. We got a guy at work who's retired, but still works because he doesn't want to fucking fade away, man.
Yeah.
And he'll pick up some heavy shit. The old man is strong. He's already in 65, 67.
Yeah.
Still doing some heavy duty stuff. And I'm like, yeah. That's why this old man looks the way he looks. He doesn't look like he's his age.
Yeah.
And I'm a nerd for a lot of stuff like that. So I try and preach and do what I preach. You know what I mean? So I'll do the vitamin thing. I'll try and lift heavy shit. And just as often as possible. Yeah. Because dude, I don't want to be all like weak and shit when I get older. You want to enjoy your grandkids.
And that's where I'm, like I said, I'm dropping the ball because I don't lift. Can I lift my own body weight? Hells no, dude. Hells no.
I don't think I can.
Hells no. Can I do a pull up? Hells no. But just yesterday, the fact that I was on a treadmill for 20 minutes, I was like, fuck. Yeah. Now for the listeners, I've never seen me in person or my TikToks or whatever, don't know what I look like. I mean, I'm 6 foot tall, 260 pounds, but people tell me I don't look like I'm 260 pounds. Yeah. I bumped into a friend after years, man. And she came up to me and she was, oh my God, Andy, you're so fucking skinny. Are you eating? I'm like, the fuck you talking about? Fucking fat. But she's used to seeing the Andy that weighed almost 300 pounds. Yeah. 280, 285.
That's a big difference, man.
So 40 pounds lighter was like, oh my God, you're so skinny. Are you eating?
10 pounds lighter.
Yeah. So I've been struggling with 265, 270 and back and forth. Then I get down to like 259. I'm at 259. I celebrate. But then it goes back up to 265. Yeah. So I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? I am drinking my fucking 130 ounces of water every day. Okay. And that I'm doing. But the one thing I'm not doing is, and I'm fasting too. I just heard on a podcast that 30 minutes after you wake up, you need to have protein. If you're going to fast, you need to have protein. And my wife heard the same thing.
So you have to take like a protein shake?
My wife has this protein shake here at the house. It's peanut butter. I had it today. This fucking shit's disgusting. I don't like peanut. I love peanut butter. I don't like that peanut butter. And but the easiest thing to do is hard boil 2 eggs.
Okay.
But today, for the sake of time, I ran out of time, so I drank that shake.
You know what I do with the hard boiled eggs? I will boil at least 12. And I'll eat 3 and just keep the rest in a little container. And then the next day I'll eat another 3 or whatever. Yeah. And I'll just do it like that.
Because it's the guy that I was listening to. It was on Michael Rosenberg's podcast. His podcast is called Inside of You. Not like that, though. But
hey, man.
I saw the look in your face.
To each their own. To each their own.
I trip out because I recently started really listening to his podcast. And it's pretty much doing the same thing that I do. Right. He gets people to open up and talk about trauma. And that's what he means inside of you, like inside your head.
Yeah,
like, let me get inside your head.
Yeah.
And so I was listening to his latest episode, one of his latest episodes, and he was talking with this guy that was talking about fasting doesn't work unless you do certain things. Fasting doesn't work if you're not eating protein. The same thing my wife told me. You're not losing any fucking weight because you're not fat. You're not eating protein. And
at our age, we need as much protein
and
as possible.
think they said that you need so much grams of protein based on your weight. So I'm going to have to Google it. But so I started waking up. And when I heard that, so pretty much I get up at 3:30 in the morning. And he also said, be consistent. Don't wake up one day at 3 o'clock. Don't wake up the next day at 3:30. Don't wake up the next day back at 3 o'clock or at 4. If you're going to wake up at a certain time, wake up consistently on the same time. And then the first thing you do is you have 16 ounces of water.
Oh, I do that.
The moment you wake up. And then, and then after that, 30 minutes after you wake up, protein. So like like I said, I've been doing 2 hard-boiled eggs. But this is the part I didn't know, and sorry for my listeners, but when I'm waiting for that machine to finish cooking those eggs, I gotta go. I got to go.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Just the 16 ounces of water did this? Like, you're joking. And that's the one thing that I need to do, because I have diverticulitis, that actually helps me how the samples come out, because they're supposed to come out like mushy. They can't be hard. Like, it can't, because I'm hurting my intestines. Okay. And fucking old people talk. Fuck, dude. I can't believe we got there, man. We're there. We're old people talk. And so I need to have, like, soft samples. That's how it. So when I noticed that the water was doing that for me, I was like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, a good thing is also drink water and add a lemon or lime
So the wife has been freezing ice cubes, but of lemon juice. Nice. The lemon juice. So nice. I get my container of 128 ounces of water, and I fill that up. I put the ice cubes in it, and I fill it up, and then throughout the day, it makes me drink water faster, or makes me want to drink more water. And it said that the lemon juice also helps the kidneys or something like that. So, and
digestion and all that stuff. One of my coworkers, and he freezes a bottle of water, like one of those tall bottles of water. He freezes it, but he adds lemon and ginger to it. And then he's like, dude, it's so good for you. Like,
at one point I was blending ginger into my smoothies, because I heard ginger helped with gout, maybe. There's a reason why.
Well, ginger is good for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and then also cherries are good for gout. Oh, shit. I don't think I've had an episode in a minute, but cherries are only in season for like 3 months out of the year. So I was like, fucking hell. Old people talk, bro. Welcome to right with me, the old people talk episode. But yeah, enough about old people talk.
Yeah,
but
your body's just decomposing, just kind of, look shit up.
So yeah, I remind the boys, hey, this is gonna happen to you unless you take care of yourself. Yeah. When they look at a bowl of broccoli, they're like, oh god, eat it, suckers. Eat it.
Yeah, you got to, bro. You got to. As much as you don't want to, your body's gonna thank you later on.
Yep. So there's that one. Now, I don't really get into my podcast episode about current events unless it's something I can relate to.
Yeah.
Like, I think the first current event that I got into was the Will Smith slap because I felt like I knew what he was going through.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with Chris Rock. Yeah. And months later, I was right. I even called Ricky. I fucking told you, Rick. I told you. He was inside dying, and he just took it out on the wrong person.
Yeah.
The person next to him is who should have been taking it out on.
Dude.
Well, not like that, but you know what I mean.
I mean, obviously he wasn't going to slap her, but
no,
I'm sure he had plenty of opportunities to, you know, cut his losses and go.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is Leslie just showed me a TikTok or an Instagram reel or whatever just recently of this one chick who finally got her wedding after like 10 years. She got married to this dude. And I told her, I was like, you know what? Honestly, when it comes to something like that, like within 2 years, bro, you should know if you really love this person and if you want to put a ring on them, or you're just going to cut your losses after 5 years and say, hey, this is not going to work out and do something else. So I feel like Will Smith did his thing for way too long and just hung in there for way too long and just exploded on somebody else.
He was holding it in for years. And trust me, believe me, been there, done that. So, but we're not going to get into the Will Smith thing. That was just an example. I don't talk about politics. I mean, I don't talk about current events. That's how long it's been since I've spoken about current events. The one we had last weekend, holy shit, Mr. Donald Trump.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I called. So Roger and I talk on a regular Monday to Friday sometimes, but on Monday to Friday. We don't talk on the weekends. So I was going to call him on Saturday. I was like, no, it's okay. I'll wait till Monday. So he called me like regular. He called me on Monday. Hey, man, how you doing? I'm I just here fucking struggling on the treadmill. He goes, oh, shit, you're off. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but you know what? I was going to call you. And I wanted to remind you about something. He was like, what happened? I'm like, years ago, you told me, damn, Andy, we lived through a terrorist attack.
Yeah.
We've lived through a shuttle disaster, the Challenger back in '86. We lived through the, earthquakes.
Granted, I think we were too young.
Too young, but we lived through it. Hey, I still claim that I lived through 3 Cowboy Super Bowls, okay? All right?
The one I will give is I lived through the Northridge earthquake.
That's the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
We lived through that. So he gave a lot of disasters that we've had in the year that in the time that we've been alive. He goes, the only one we haven't had is an assassination.
Mm-hmm.
So I called
him.
I reminded him of all that, and before I finished my statement, he started laughing because he knew where I was going with this.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck, how close was that?
Too close.
And you look at the video and it shows he shows how he tilted his head, and the video was like something 6 seconds, 8 seconds, or 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 8 seconds, right? At that 8th second, if he didn't tilt his head from 6 seconds to the 8th second, he would have hit him.
Oh, yeah, he would have
hit him. He hit him.
First off, let's see the actual thing here. The guy was a horrible fucking shot.
Yeah.
He would have got, if he was a professional sniper, he would have got him in the first one.
Yeah.
So,
and it wasn't even a sniper, it was an AR.
It was it was just some
he
regular
picked the wrong gun.
guy, I think.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about that is that there's a lot of things that led up to that. A lot of little fishy, sketchy things that led up to that point. And I was, listening to a lot of stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, how come, the surrounding areas weren't covered? How come, all these visible, what do you call them, like vantage points or whatever? How come you didn't have all that, we got drones, we got helicopters, we got all this fucking stuff. And he was still able to pop off 4 rounds, killing a guy. Shit, man, it's insane.
I watched the video this morning. Again, and guys, this is not a regular. We don't get into politics. Trust me. If you listen to all my episodes, this is the only time I get into politics when Paul's here. Paul's not here, and we get into politics. And I watched a video this morning that said it was from an ex Secret Service, and they're saying his question was, and he threw the F-bomb in there.
Yeah.
His question was, how the fuck did this kid get within 130 meters yeah.
He was what, like just a little over a football field away, correct?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Some reports said he was 200 to 300 yards away. Then there's some that said it was only 130 yards away. But like I said, this ex-Secret Service or ex-military stated was, what the fuck? Like, how did this kid get within a football and a half field away from the president? Like, doesn't make sense. And there was another video that surfaced that said that this guy witnessed somebody climbing a building with a gun, and they were telling the cops, "Hey, this guy's got a gun. This guy's got a gun."
A cop actually went up to the guy.
And at first, there was videos were saying that no one did anything about it. Mm-hmm. But then there was a second. Like I said, I saw this all this morning. I was bored. I'm telling you,
there's so much crap that started coming out right after that, and the days after.
So they're saying that a cop did actually approach the kid. The fuck happened then? Why didn't you arrest him? Why didn't you?
So I heard that the guy turned his gun and pointed it at the officer, and the officer just backed off like, "Whoa, okay, fine. You have to back off because you don't want to get shot. Call for backup, bro.
So
what are you doing?
Come back with like 20 guys
That's
after
exactly
the fact?
what I'm thinking.
He threatened you. You don't fucking think about maybe
calling it in, possibly,
drone,
and say, "Hey, man, we got a guy up here. Get Mr. Trump, off the stage, something. You know what I mean? Because apparently they had like a 2-minute warning prior to the shots being popped off. So I was like, "This is insane, man. This is just too much BS to go through in order to figure out exactly what was what. There had to be some kind of inside job, had to be, which sucks,
And that's what the reports are kind of saying. They're pointing at. It's like, wait a minute, the Secret Service didn't get involved. The fucking cops didn't do nothing about it. Like, seriously.
And I think that the guy that actually got hit was a firefighter.
Yeah, it's a firefighter.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, that sucks.
Yeah, he killed he killed a firefighter, and then he himself was only 20 years old, man. He was a fucking kid.
Kids just, I don't know. They don't think for themselves, bro. I think a lot of it has to do with like the media also. Like, I do blame the media quite a bit for a lot of the BS that the kids are ingesting.
Yeah.
Because, dude, they do not know how to think for themselves anymore. It's sad. It's sad to see how they do not think for themselves anymore.
The media has fucked a lot of things over. Now let's not make everything so fucking serious and shit. Let's make it funny, right? Like I said, it's been a year and a half that I got my son into wrestling.
Yeah.
And he loves it. Like, on Monday they were at band practice, and they end at 8:00. Raw, the Monday night Raw ends at 8:00. But the beautiful thing about nowadays is you can watch the replay.
Oh yeah.
So Dad, we're watching the replay when you get home. When I get home, we're watching the replay. Because usually we watch it on Tuesday.
Okay.
Right? There's so much fucking spoilers. There's so many spoilers on fucking Facebook and TikTok and everything that my son was like, I do not want to wait for anyone to spoil the episode. So he came home, and so when I'm watching this, right? Okay, there's a storyline right now. It's we went from fucking Donald Trump to Dominic Mysterio. I can't believe I'm going to talk about Dominic Mysterio right now. Okay, there's a storyline that Dominic Mysterio is his girlfriend is this girl called Rhea Ripley. He calls her mommy. They're pretty much going back to the old Eddie Guerrero China storyline, right?
Okay, gotcha.
And but she got injured. She was gone for 3 months, and then this homegirl that took her out of commission is trying to take everything from her, including her dirty dom, right?
Oh God!
What ruins that storyline is that social media has ruined the fact that in the 3 months that Rhea Ripley was gone, she went and got married in real life. You know what I mean?
On, man.
The thing that has ruined storylines is that just a few months ago they showed that this dirty dom that everybody fucking boos has been with his girlfriend since they were in junior high. and they recently got married.
Yeah.
So how can you go and have this storyline on wrestling about these two individuals being a couple in wrestling when they have already shown their real lives,
right?
And they're married, and they have spouses and shit, and it's like it doesn't. It's still funny to watch. It's
you
still,
fucked up the fantasy for a lot of fans.
Yeah. They fucked that up because it's like, we know the truth, right? We know that this is not. Now you have 100% have made it known that this shit is fake.
Yeah.
Obviously. The storyline's fake, whatever. But back then, we didn't have that.
But you had a dope telenovela, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you had a dope, freaking, like, hey, this is a soap opera.
Yeah.
People get smashed in this soap opera, and we're in on it. We're dope. We're good.
So Julian, every time I talk about the Attitude Era, he's like, Dad, I want to, what the fuck? When was that? When did that happen? I'm like, well, that happened around this time, and I tried to get a time frame going. And then, so we recently watched the episode when Kane first made his appearance.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
So he's like, Mijo, we have to watch this episode. We have to watch this fight because I don't know exactly when Kane comes out. Even I'm already ruining it for him because he knows that Kane's going to come out, but he doesn't. He only knows because I fucking told him.
Yeah.
So, so we're watching it, and still he's watching something that he knows is going to happen, and his fucking mouth just fucking dropped. He was like, holy shit. Also,
but he hasn't seen clips or
no,
anything like that.
No. I show him a couple clips here and there, but not the only what we find on TikTok. But what do you call it? So I do. He, like I said, he did know Kane was coming. So now, whenever I tell him the next, and then he was excited to say he witnessed the very first Hell in a Cell, because as Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, right before Kane came out, they were in the very first steel cage that actually had sealed off. The first Hell in a Cell. So he can say that. Like when he sees clips of WrestleMania 39, Dad, we were there. He's proud to say that he was at WrestleMania 39.
Yeah.
But back to the whole social media ruining things, it doesn't. It is funny because that's why Julian wanted to come home from band practice yesterday. Mm-hmm. I mean on Monday to watch it because he didn't want to get spoiled on something that he knows is fake. Yeah. Like he knows it's not true, but the storyline still is funny. But it's funny, but it leaves like a sour taste to your mouth because you know the truth.
I tell Leslie the same thing because she's like, oh, because we're LAFC fans, right?
Yeah.
So, she's like, oh, we're losing. I was like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? And she's like, oh, it's this much to this much or whatever, or hey, we scored or whatever the case is, right? I'm like, okay. And then she wants to proceed and show me clips of the goals. I was like, don't fucking show me, please. Because when we get home, I actually want to watch the game. I understand the outcome. I get it. Right? I already know the outcome. I want to watch the fucking game though. Like let me watch it. Let me actually experience the goals as they're quote unquote happening in my time. Because I already know they already happened. But let me experience the goals and let me get excited. If you already show me clips of all the goals, I don't want to watch the fucking game anymore.
Yeah,
I'm done. I already know what the fuck.
And that's what, like, for example, now we have like now that everything's on replays, we pretty much fast forward the matches.
Oh yeah,
we don't even watch it. We just like get to the the wife asked on Monday Night Raw, well, how long is it gonna last? Well, the show's 3 hours, but we're gonna fucking skim through it like in an hour.
Yeah,
because we're only watching the Cheeseman. Like that's what we said. We're only watching the Cheeseman when they come out and talk trash.
Yeah.
Now the pay-per-views, they're live. Well, I take that back. They're no longer pay-per-views, bro. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
They're no longer pay-per-views. They're a premium live events. I think they changed it to premium live events instead of pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So actually one of the band kids checked me on that one. She's like, what's a pay-per-view? I'm like, the pay-per-view, like when you watch it on like the main event,
the name says it. It's a pay-per-viewing.
And no, I googled it, bro. It's premium live events or premium live events or some shit like that. I'm like,
yeah.
What the fuck? Whatever. I didn't even drink coffee and I'm clearing my throat. See what I'm talking about? Hold on.
Like just the other day, I told Leslie, hey, I was like, hey, babe, remember when Costco was called Price Club? It's like, yeah, I remember that. I was like, fuck, I'm old.
Back to old talk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that
But you know what? When we were growing up, I remember we loved watching commercials, you know, and I would tell the girls, I was like, dude, we loved watching commercials because that's how we knew what fucking toys we wanted, you know, what cereals were coming out, other stuff. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah, bro, you have no clue. I was like, did you know about the Moon Man? The McDonald's Moon Man? She's like, what? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
When it was open late night, you know, you had the McDonald's Moon Man. A lot of people don't know who that is. And I was like, you guys fucking kidding me? You're my age. You don't know who the Moon Man is?
I had what were we watching?
We showed her a bunch of commercials, so she's like, I want that. I was
What were you
no more, kid.
What were you watching the other day? And the boys were shocked. Well, for starters, I had the wife watch Beverly Hills Cop. She's never seen Beverly Hills Cop.
The old
old
stuff,
school,
right?
because
there's a new one.
Because the new one was going to come out the new one's going to come out on Netflix like
That's already
July
out,
3rd.
isn't it?
Yeah, it came out a couple weeks ago. So I told the wife, well, I want to watch it. She was, I've never. What? What do you mean you've never seen it? So I had her watch, and then I was already like quoting the movie before it even happened. You put a banana in my tailpipe. and then there was a part where, you know how Axel Foley puts his hands on his ears and he goes la 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 la.
Yeah.
My wife looked at me so pissed. She goes, "Fucker, you do that all the time." Now I see where you got it from.
Oh,
but no, we were the kids are like, they trip out on certain things that are on TV, that like, or I'm playing something in the background or listening to a certain song or whatever. Like, what the fuck? Like, seriously? Like the pool table, for example. They never knew what a fucking pool table was until Nick. I failed him as a father, dude. Don't judge me, bro. I see the judgmental eyes. Nick went to a party and they had a pool table.
Okay.
And then he was explaining the pool table. I'm like, that's not a fucking pool table. That's not a fucking pool table. So we recently bought a pool table, and dude, they spent a lot of time in that.
Oh yeah.
And then
they're gonna become ringers, bro.
And not only did they did we get a pool table, the wife decided to get a dartboard as well.
Oh.
So there's a dartboard now in the house, like in the garage.
So now all you need is alcohol, and you got a bar.
Pretty much, exactly. So, but yeah, no, they had no idea what a pool table was. I mean, I'm watching Smallville. I'm rewatching Smallville.
Okay.
Show came out 20 years ago, back in 2001. And the graphics and shit, because the stuff they do is like, no, it's just the storyline or whatever. It's like, bro, really? Like, the FBI is not gonna show up like after 16th death into this little small town, like, yeah. So it's just bullshit like that.
I don't know, bro. It just seems like kids nowadays can't do a lot of the things that we used to do, and it sucks to know that, you know, they're so limited, you know, to a lot of things, and we're like, dude, come on, you can't do this now, you can't do that now. They got rid of dodgeball. Like sometimes, like, how the hell do you get rid of dodgeball, bro?
I had to watch dodgeball.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you need to hit somebody in the face, and you can't do it, you know, like, you know, 1-on-1. So you got this nice little red ball, and you're aiming for this sucker. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's how you let out your aggression. These kids can't even do that. They can't play dodgeball.
I don't know if I already said it on the podcast, but I recently had the boys watch Spaceballs.
Oh, okay.
They recently watched Spaceballs, and now when I get under their skin, they do the salute and the way that he does it. Right?
Yeah.
And dude, JoJo quotes the one over and over again. We haven't found shit. You know, we ain't found shit. And there's rumor that there's gonna be a Spaceballs 2.
Okay.
And he's looking forward to it.
Yeah. God.
Me not so much, because you don't go.
Yeah, you
don't go 80s to 40 years later to make a part 2. That doesn't make sense.
Like, I'm kind of salty about the fact that how they made the new Crow movie, and I'm like, this looks like trash, but I'm willing to watch it. I'll give it a try. Obviously, I'm not going to spend my money and go watch it in the theater because it looks like trash, but I'll wait, you know, and I'll watch it then. I looked at a lot of people's comments and stuff like that, and I was like, yeah, you got a point about certain things, you know. And I understand it's like some new age stuff, and this, and everybody has their own creative, you know, freedom. But dude, you fucking with the original stuff, man.
There is, like, for example, like we just said about Beverly Hills Cop, right? See, the thing about Beverly Hills Cop was that I feel like every movie was a different storyline with the same characters.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I told the wife, well, you don't have to watch
every single one.
Yeah, because every story is a different storyline. But then when you see in the trailer that there's people from the very first movie still in the movie, I'm like, well, then maybe let me introduce the wife to these characters and who they are. Because Billy was a shy little guy, a shy cop, and all of a sudden he's a fucking badass in part 2. You know, fucking guns behind his doors and shit. Like, he's a badass. And,
dude, I haven't seen that movie in such a long. I gotta rewatch it.
Yeah, I would have not known who Billy was a month ago, but because I just recently watched it, I know Billy, and part 4 just fit in perfectly because, like I said, all 3 old movies are different storyline.
Yeah.
All take place in Beverly Hills, but it's a different storyline. Part 4 blend right in. The other thing that I was always criticizing, the other show that I was criticizing was Cobra Kai.
Oh,
how the fuck are they gonna go and make a fucking part 2 or whatever
I'm right there with you, bro.
Years after, it doesn't make any fucking I bit my tongue. First 5 minutes, I was laughing so much.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, oh, okay. So this is like now they're adults and they're still rivalry kind of. And
yeah.
So it, dude, fucking greatest show ever, dude.
And every time I finish it, this is where I wished it was back to the old school stuff where you'd have to wait for an episode. You have to wait for the episode, you know, week after week. Because then you're like stuck. You're like, oh shit, I can't wait. Now I'm like, motherfucker, I gotta wait a whole goddamn year for the next season. The only criticism that I have for that show is too short. These episodes are too short. The episodes are like 30 minutes long, bro. I need you at least at a fucking 45 to an hour.
Now you're starting to sound like my brother with my podcast episodes. Dude, really? An hour? You need to make them longer.
Dude, but it's because you're left on such a cliffhanger, and it seems like they're leaving a whole bunch of things out. And I'm like, yeah, I'm right there with you. I get it. I know the gist of everything, but some of these episodes need a little more time, man.
Right now, we are watching House of the Dragon season 2.
Dude, Leslie's watching House of the Dragons. I'm on season 6
of Game of Thrones.
I never watched Game of Thrones. I tried watching it like 2-3 times prior, and I just couldn't get into it. And finally, I was like, you let me give it another shot. And I'm at season 6 now.
You want me to save you time?
Not really.
You can watch House of the Dragon before you watch Game of Thrones.
Because it's like a pre. it's a before.
Yeah,
but I was like, let me just go through it.
It's like 100 or 1,000 years before Game of Thrones, some shit like that.
So I was like, oh, okay, I'm not missing it.
So we're watching it, and then like it's getting to a good part. And what is the first thing you do? We didn't have this as kids. You click a button on the TV, and it shows you how much time is left.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, fuck, really? Only 5 minutes left? Something better fucking happen.
Yeah. So now you're anticipating something for something to happen, and you're like,
and the wife ruins things for me, movies for me sometimes. So I just recently, like you said, I have to wait a whole fucking week for the House of Dragon to come on.
Yeah.
I got smart. I played with the fucking Fire Stick. So on Sunday, I go to bed early because I work the next day. I wake up at 3:30 in the morning.
Right.
So I told the wife, well, I mean, I'm not going to go to work this week, but I still want to watch House of the Dragon. So I went in the Fire Stick settings, way in the back of the settings, and I changed it to East Coast.
Oh.
So when the people are watching House of the Dragon here at 9:00 p.m., I watched it at 6 p.m. So I was 3 hours ahead of you, and we were watching it.
You did the whole VPN thing where you switch up.
Yeah, all I did was change the time zone. Yeah. That's all I did, and it worked. It fucking worked. So I text a friend of mine that I've known since I was in the 9th grade. She's a little kid, and I told her, "Hey, Crystal, if you change your fucking device, your streaming device to East Coast, You can watch it right now. You're welcome.
Oh.
And no, we watched it, and like I said, it leaves you on a fucking cliffhanger because now you have to wait another week. But then when the season's over, to wait 2 fucking years.
Yeah.
So I feel like we did Game of Thrones the right way, and watched all 7 seasons before season 8 came out.
See?
Yeah, and so since we're waiting for the next week, I told her, well, fuck. I think I've watched the most fucking TV this the month of July, the most, because then we're channel surfing. Channel surfing. Nobody says that anymore. I was Netflix searching, and or surfing, and I came across, or not on Netflix, on Max, The Last of Us.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
And the wife is not a fan of horror movies. She's not a fan of it, but she's sitting there watching it because it's The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And I actually caught myself the other day too. I'm like, fuck, I would love to have that man's voice. You know how great he will sound on the podcast? Like,
Oh yeah.
Can I AI my voice to sound like the fucking Mandalorian?
I'm sure you probably could
Right?
at some point. Now.
Right? I would go gay for fucking Ryan Reynolds, or for fucking Mandalorian's voice.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds,
Okay.
bro.
All right. Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, no, I mean, I watched The Mandalorian, I watched The Last of Us, and then I see him in Game of Thrones, and I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, you just fucked up my image. Just fucked up my image of you, man.
Yeah.
But he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Bro. He's a great
Dude,
fucking
honestly, channel surfing through the fucking Netflix and Max the other day, I realized this guy's in a lot of shit.
actor. He's in a lot of stuff.
And so we're watching The Last of Us, and again, you know, this is where I started by saying my wife has ruined things for me, because she'll be like kind of antsy. I'm like, what happened? What happened, babe? I'm like, she goes, they changed the music tone. Listen to the music tone. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, listen, they went from a soft, nice jingle song to now like a creepy, upbeat song. Something's gonna happen. And there comes a fucking zombie.
Bro. Dude, at least it's just that. What Leslie does is we're watching it and she's like this on her phone. She's like, I can't tell you. And I was like, what?
She's already ruining the fucking.
What? She's already just ruined it for herself, and she wants to ruin it for me.
Yeah.
She won't tell me, and I was like, oh my god.
When back to wrestling, when I taught Jojo, we have to fucking watch it today. We have to watch it today. She goes, something already spoiled it for you, huh? I'm like, yeah, so we gotta watch it. I'm not disappointed. Yeah, we gotta watch it.
Yeah, nah, man.
We gotta watch it.
There's a lot of things that I wish we could kind of just,
Go
fall back
back,
on.
yeah.
And dude, there's a lot of things that, your enjoyment of the of this current, how can you put it? Like the state that we're in about technology and this and that. There's a lot of good stuff about it, but sometimes there's too much. So we got to backtrack a little bit and just, hey man, we need to start building a little bit of suspense because nobody has that.
You know what's a trip on? Like the trip that is gaming, for example. You see, I have my 4 monitors here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I recently learned that if I look at, what is this?
Yeah.
That's a PS4 controller, right? Why do I have a PS4 controller connected to my computer?
You can use the controller.
You can use the controller to play. So I'm playing. The only thing I really play is Fortnite. I got bored of, not bored. Zombie games aren't what they used to be. Back in the day, you just upgrade your weapon and you kill fucking zombies.
Yeah.
Now you have to collect this, to arm this, to do this, to collect that, to
It's a
open
whole
this.
thing.
It's a whole fucking maze. It's like, yeah. And then the one thing we grew up playing video games on is like small screens.
Right.
So I have the PlayStation connected to the 55-inch TV in the living room. I get dizzy. I can't. I have to play it in here. So I was talking to Roger, and he was like, wait, what? You can play Call of Duty games on your PC and play with people on PlayStations? I'm like, yeah, that's been going on. Fucking technology, man. I go back to, it reminds me of The Cable Guy.
Okay.
The Cable Guy came out in 1996, and he was talking about what we're living through right now. In the future, you will be playing Mortal Kombat with a friend in a different state and shit. Like he, or whatever his little speech was.
Yeah.
We're living through that right now.
So I didn't tell anybody because I get a kick out of my own nerd shit, right? I just recently started thinking about the Cable Guy and another movie called A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. I don't know if you ever remember that movie.
It sounds familiar, but I'm
okay. So, in A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, this chick starts liking this guy. She dresses him. I think it's with Martin Lawrence. Starts dressing him up, this, that, and the other. She like falls madly in love with it, just infatuated, right? And long story short, he tries to get rid of her, man. And something happens. She has some kind of accident, right? And he finally gets rid of her. When she's on the ride to the ambulance, like to the hospital, whatever the hell it is, right? The dude that was helping her, like with her wounds and this and that, she's like, hey, this, that. He's like, no, we'll take care of you, this, that, and the other. She's like, will you really? This, that. And I was like, that's the fucking Cable Guy. That's because Homeboy just, befriended the other guy, right?
Yeah.
And this guy was like, yeah, we're good. And then started trying to get rid of him. He fucking said, nah, man, I'm good. The guy on the ambulance came, or the helicopter, right? I think it was.
Yeah.
Came, and he's like, yeah, buddy. He's like, am I really your buddy?
Yeah.
And then started clicking.
Yeah.
I was like, that's from A Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
So
It's
which one came first?
I don't even know, but I just thought about it in my head. I was like, wow, I'm on some stupid.
Well, I know
shit.
I was a hardcore Jim Carrey fan back in the 90s, so I know the Cable Guy came out in 96.
Yeah, I don't know. This is I used to watch all kinds of different movies when I was younger, so I just barely put that one together. And I was like,
It's called
this is weird. A Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
Between Love and Hate?
Yeah.
It's the same year.
Is it the same year?
How the fuck is that possible?
That's even more crazy. That's even more fucking crazy that I know that now.
Yeah, 1996.
There you go.
Both movies came out in 96.
There you go,
What the
bro.
fuck?
It's insane.
Well, people are obsessed with the Fast and the Furious movies. Okay?
After the third one, I was done.
Fast and the Furious 1 is the same storyline to Point Break.
No fucking way.
Have you seen Point Break?
It's been a while.
It's about surfer dudes
Okay.
robbing banks.
And he's a fucking undercover.
And he's undercover. Keanu Reeves is undercover. Fast and Furious is about fucking guys that race their cars
Yeah.
and go rob cars, or go rob tankers, cars, trucks, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's an undercover cop. Same fucking storyline.
But does he turn at the end in Point Break?
No.
He doesn't.
No, he just lets him go.
Yeah,
Which is the same thing in Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious 1.
But Point Break ended there. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like Fast and Furious just like kept on going and going and going.
Oh, it just turned into a shit show.
Here we go. Another one. I love this movie. It's called Over the Top.
Oh,
with
love
Sylvester
that fucking
Stallone.
movie, bro. Love that fucking
The movie is about him arm wrestling. Didn't have a relationship with his son.
Yeah.
Then gets into into a situation where he needs to have his son for about a couple of days or a week or whatever. And then the son hates him. Son ends up falling in love with his dad and wants to be by his side.
I used to turn my hat backwards just when I was ready to go, bro.
Still pull my fucking hat backwards when I'm fucking. The only time I don't have my hat backwards is when I'm driving, bro. So that movie came out what 80s, and then we fast forward. Nothing against Hugh Jackman, fucking our original, the only Wolverine. Real Steel. Same fucking storyline. But this one, they're boxing robots. But
I love that fucking movie.
I love them both.
I love that fucking movie.
I love them both, dude. Both good movies.
Yeah.
Same storyline.
It is the same storyline.
Now,
Except for one thing. In Over the Top, that kid was a fucking dweeb, bro. He pissed me off.
he was a nerd, yeah.
He
was
pissed me
He
off.
was a little bitch.
He was such a bitch. Right? So bitch. And then, but in Real Steel, the kid was a little younger.
Technology, yeah.
And started like really like, hey, no, I got this.
Yeah.
Like I pulled this robot out of the dump.
It's
mine.
It's mine.
So he actually took initiative, and so I was like,
Adam,
all right.
Atom, right? Atom.
Mm-hmm.
Atom. Like atomic bomb, Atom.
Yeah. So
great
I was like,
movie.
okay.
Both great movies,
I liked
dude.
them.
Both great movies. Both great storylines, but they're the same shit.
Yeah.
Same shit.
And you know what's good about that? There's no agenda to it.
But
it's just a good movie.
We got down the rabbit hole of movies and shit. But But the thing is like when they do those fucking okay, we just gave two good examples of two good movies that were remade as a different storyline, as a different movie, but the same storyline, right?
Yeah.
Now you have movies that are being remade, like to look like the old school, and they're trash.
Yes.
Like I'm gonna rag on this one, The Lion King, bro. The Lion King. 1994's Lion King, the Disney Lion King was great. Fucking made me fucking cry. Soundtrack was good. And then you have the newest Lion King movie that was a fucking remake that I couldn't even get past 5 minutes. Like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Don't even call them a remake anymore.
No, don't do that.
Just make the same movie with a different storyline and call it a day. I mean, I'm sorry. The same movie, the same storyline, but with a different title. Don't call it a remake. Real Steel. Great movie.
Great movie.
Same storyline as Over the Top.
Yeah. Great.
I mean,
I love that movie.
I Point Break, great movie. Fast and Furious 1, great movie.
Yeah.
Same storyline.
Right.
Don't call them a remake. Just make the movie same storyline, but a different.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the only two that I have right now. I'm sure there's a lot of them out there, but these are the only two that come to mind because there's two of my greatest favorite movies growing up. That's why when I watched, that's when I told the wife when I watched the trailer to Beverly Hills Cop 4. I'm like, I can watch this because it has nothing to do with the old ones.
Yeah.
Now, we had a movie night here last month, beginning of June. You guys came over. We ended up watching Beetlejuice.
Right.
Because I'm okay with this. I feel like I'm okay with this one because it doesn't seem like Beetlejuice is going to be, it's not a remake. It's technically a part 2.
Right.
And the moment that fucking Michael Keaton comes out and says, the juice is back, that shit gives you fucking chills, man.
Oh yeah, man.
So
that movie is just, it's a good movie. I just hope it doesn't get fucked up.
I know.
I just hope it doesn't get fucked up. I'm anticipating that movie. You know what I mean?
To do good, right?
To do good, yeah. I'm really anticipating. That's why I said earlier. I was like, they did the remake of bro, of The Crow. Loved that fucking movie as a kid. Loved it. Right? Still like it. It's a fucking cult classic.
Yeah.
I saw the characters and I was like,
it can't rain all the time.
It can't rain all the time, bro. But they rained on my fucking parade with this character, and I was like, God damn it.
I feel bad for Michael Keaton. I want to watch it to support Michael Keaton, but I don't want to watch it. The Flash.
Okay.
I heard the movie was good.
I've never been a huge Flash
I only want to watch it because they brought Michael Keaton back as Batman.
Okay.
So I want to watch it for Michael Keaton, but I don't want to be disappointed. But I just feel like the only reason why the movie did horrible, it had nothing to do with the movie from what I'm understanding. It's the actor.
Right.
That he went and did some crazy shit and became violent and in the real life. And shit,
I think that one I was like, oh, okay. I'm not a huge Flash fan.
Yeah.
But I'm a Batman fan, and apparently they're gonna go through a few Batmans in this movie. So I was like, oh, okay. I'll check it out. You know what I mean?
I was like, I want to watch. I'm telling you, I was going through Netflix and it's like, I stopped there for a second. I'm like, I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
I want to watch it for Michael Keaton. That's about it. I'm not a big Batman fan. I'm telling you.
Even Leslie was excited about. Oh shit, Michael Keaton. I was like, yeah. She's like, do they have Val Kilmer? I was like, no, they don't have Val Kilmer. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm okay with Val Kilmer. I'm just not okay with George Clooney. Batman. George Clooney
either. Fuck them. Sorry,
that movie sucked.
Sorry, guys. Both of those movies are trash.
Yeah, I only like the Val Kilmer one because of Jim Carrey. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
90s Jim Carrey. I'm a big 90s Jim Carrey fan. Like, dude, the guy. Every time a movie came out, right away I had to go fucking rent it on VHS. I said it. Rent it on VHS.
Oh yeah. Another thing that you guys will never, your kids will never experience, is renting movies.
We're watching wrestling. And they brought up these people. They're called the Wyatt Six or some shit like that, right? Like stuff after the Attitude Era and in between that I didn't watch. I don't know, kid. I can just Google who they are and stuff like that. So there's this lady, real creepy, wears a mask and shit. Real creepy lady. Like, we're talking Halloween status, man.
Yeah.
Fucking the ring starts to fog up, and I want one of those fog machines. I don't know what the fuck they use, but I want one. I want one for Halloween. And the lady brings up this crippled fucking, like, Amazon box, like, all beat up. And she leaves it on the announcer's table, right? And the guy pulls out the content from the box, and it's a VHS tape.
Oh.
And George was like, "What's that?"
Wow. You know, let me set this one out.
I failed my kids, bro. I failed my kids, bro.
Oh man. Yeah. No, my kids at least know what a cassette tape looks like, and a VHS and all that stuff.
We're watching Beverly Hills Cop 1 with the wife, and I said, "Fuck, man! I remember watching this on Laserdisc."
Wow.
And she was like, "What?" Yeah, a Laserdisc, like a Laserdisc, like a DVD player. Like, what? I'm like, babe, they had like DVD players back in the 80s. Like, they looked like a vinyl record. They were just that big, but they looked like a giant DVD.
Mm-hmm.
What? And I Googled it right there and then. So this was around the time, obviously, because July 3rd was going to be the premiere of the newest Beverly Hills Cops. And we were working at the fireworks stand with Ray. I'm like, "Hey, Ray, do you remember Laserdisc?" He's, "Oh yeah," and he got in, like, dude, his face lit up, everything. Right away. And I was like, "Yeah, well, God, the wife didn't even know those things existed." She was, "What?" Like,
a lot of people don't even know that when you in your car, you had a CD player, right?
Yeah.
And a thing would come out where you had to set the CD onto and then just slide back in, like if it was a house radio, a stereo, right? Before you actually just slide it in.
Well, my CRV is a 2005, and I've been lucky that thing's still running. That thing holds 5 CDs.
I don't know why that's preposterous.
It actually has
there's no need for that.
It actually has 3 of the last CDs I've ever burned.
Okay. So
Queen, Beatles, and ABBA.
Okay. Do you remember before that, in your car, when you used to change out the stereo, you used to have a multi-disc player under the seat.
And it was a box, right? A black box, and it held so many DVDs, CDs and shit. And then you can change it on the stereo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Before they came
out we're getting old again, dude. We're fucking old.
Too fucking old.
Yeah, dude. There's what else? What else have I recently? The boys are just like, "What the fuck is that?" But no, yeah. There's a lot of shit that these kids didn't grow up on. Like, we're watching The Last of Us. The Last of Us, and the little girl in the episode, she's a teenager. She had a Walkman. She was walking with the Walkman. I told the wife, "Holy shit, I had that same exact Walkman." No shit. She was like, "What?" I used to have that same exact Walkman. She was, I didn't live through the Walkman days. I lived through the CD days. Yeah. I'm about the anti-skip. So bullshit.
Oh, such trash.
Anti-skip my ass.
I would have preferred the regular Walkman with the tape because you could run, you could do whatever you wanted. It wouldn't skip.
Yeah.
Once they brought in the Discman, you were screwed.
Yeah.
You were screwed. They're bouncing everywhere. And I was like, dude, I can't listen to shit in my car because this thing just skips like crazy. Yeah,
no, it's like, I mean, even this speaker right here, that speaker that I have right here next to you, that guy is not Bluetooth capable. It's not, for me to have a speaker that big and it's not Bluetooth, the cable's right here. I just plug it into my phone and call it a day. It's right here. There it is. I think so. Right here. There it is. Look at. I plug it into my phone, and that's why
you even got an adapter for it.
Because of the Samsung 22. Yeah. Yeah. That's not Bluetooth. It's like people like I don't know if you saw when I took it out for the. Oh, you didn't see it. I had it behind the projector screen. That was playing. That was playing the audio. Yeah, and I had to plug that thing directly to the. And honestly, I feel like that sounded way better than.
It sounded really good.
It sounded way better than at one point. I told the wife, "Is it too fucking loud?" I asked her, "Is it too fucking loud?" She went to the restroom at one point. She can hear it clear as day in the fucking bathroom.
It sounded good.
Yeah.
Man.
So this thing right here.
It holds up.
Yeah. So
holds up. And you don't have to worry about losing connection when you walk
Exactly. Exactly. So that thing works great. I love that speaker. Well, Paul gave it to me one day. He came over during COVID, and he was like, we had a thing here, for family gathering here. I think it was my sister-in-law's 30th birthday, and he was like, dude, I need to get out of the house, bro. I need to get out of the house. Can I just come DJ for you guys? Can I DJ? I need to get out of the house. And I'm like, yeah, dude, fuck it, babe. Is that okay? He goes, I'll stay to the side. I won't come near your family. I'll stay in the corner of the property. I'll just be playing music. That's it. And he was the hit of the night, man. Everyone was like the next day, like, oh, dude, you guys killed it with the fucking DJ. That was fucking awesome and shit. And then when he was getting ready to leave, I told him, that's a cool speaker. He's like, you want it? I'm like, no, bro, that's your speaker. He goes, no. It'll give me a reason to buy a new one. So he gave it to me.
What a come up.
He gave it to me. The wife's like, you didn't ask for it, did you? I'm like, no, babe, I did not. I swear.
Yeah,
I swear.
Speaker.
Yeah, it's a good speaker.
It's a good speaker.
So yeah, there's that. But I'm gonna touch back on. We're talking about all this old school stuff because we're also you said earlier about we started talking about social media and kids influences kids and shit, right?
Yeah.
I recently called George, maybe like a month ago, and we had a conversation about our kids in school. George has 3 daughters, right? One's almost out the door, high school. She's a senior this year, right?
She's a senior this year, yeah.
So you're almost done. My son's going to be a senior too. He's a senior this year. But then I'm going to have the one that's going to be a sophomore. So I'll be there for, 3 more years of school. And I called George one day to vent because, back in our day, back in our day, we didn't hesitate to get into a fight at school if we had to.
Oh, definitely not.
If somebody got like I remember I was in the cafeteria line getting my food, and I was like my fucking light skinned Mexican that people think I'm white, and my hair was a mess because my mom didn't know what sending me to get a haircut was. I was too young to pay for my own haircut, so I looked like a piece of shit. And these 2 Mexican kids were like, fucking, este güey no sabe nada, like talking papas, talking smack about me, like if I didn't understand what they were saying. So I turned around and I told them, hey man, you guys, I can understand what you guys are saying. And they're like, and they continued, right? They continued. So then I turned around and like, ¿Quieren que les parte la madre when we're done? Rato, si quieren? And they kind of like backed off. And the cafeteria lady, she took pity on me. So she was close and she was like, you okay, Andy? I'm like, yeah, these fucking guys are talking papas and shit like that. And so she was like, do what you got to do. Just not on school ground.
Yeah.
Just not on school ground.
I remember a lot of fights took place after school. And we'll meet you on Friday, bro. We're throwing down. Regardless. Like, I'm catching you and we're going to throw down. I remember I was in class and these I went to school with a lot of Mexican kids. Not until like I got out of high school did I start meeting a lot of like different nationalities and stuff like that, right? So a lot of in school it was a lot of Mexican kids, and there was these kids. They were just talking mad trash. This tall black kid, right? Always had a basketball. Didn't really say nothing. Just quiet, mad trash talking. And one day he got fed up and was like, "Que putas?" And I was like, "Whoa, where did that accent come from, bro?"
Yeah.
He was like Dominican.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know if he didn't say anything. You would just think, "Oh, he's black."
Yeah.
Dominican. Of course, they're gonna talk Spanish.
I have a friend. He worked with a company for a couple of years, and he since I have like boxes of repack and shit, he called me one day. You don't happen to have some, X, Y, and Z on my garage? I'm like, yeah, I have some. You want to swing by? He's okay. And you see the boys.
Yeah.
The moment somebody pulls up, they'll come out and greet you, shake your hand, whatever. It doesn't matter who it is. So when my boy was on his way over here, I told him, do me a favor. Don't speak in English. We're talking dark-skinned black guy. Christopher, big black dude, shows up in a fucking 92 Bronco. White. And he's like, it's not the one, dude. It's not the one. He shows up in a Bronco and he's, big black dude. And he, walks up to the kids and they're like, hey, how are you? And he fucking went along with me, and he started talking to them in Spanish. And they were like, what the fuck?
It throws you off.
You wouldn't have assumed. And he had no accent. Like, he had no, like you said, the Republic, say it.
Dominican Republic?
Yeah. He didn't have that accent. He really knew Spanish. There's a video I saw on TikTok, and it was a lady with a water gun asking her kids, ¿Cómo se dice milk? Leche. And the next kid, ¿Cómo se dice esto? And they messed up. She fucking squirted him with water. So anyways, so they had no like idea what he was saying.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, so I went and after he left or whatever, I'm looking at my boys and I'm shaking my head in disappointment. I'm like, damn guys, if this guy can speak Spanish.
But you know what though? Like a lot of that stems from you sticking up for yourself, because a lot of these people are just like, dude, I'm gonna be as tolerable as possible. I'm gonna let you talk all your trash, but at some point, I'm gonna get fed up. When I was a freshman in high school, I saw the most crazy shit. This one like punker kid, right? He would always get like messed with by this one cholo, and the cholo would be like, okay, whatever, because he's with his boys, and this punker kid was like, whatever, One day, he was talking shit to this punker. The punker got fed up.
Yeah.
And he's like, just like this. All I heard was, I'm tired of your shit. And just decked him.
Yeah.
Just square in the fucking nose. And just proceeded to put an ass whooping on him.
Yeah.
Security came, put him in cuffs, this, that, and the other. I don't know how this kid got out of the cuffs and just kicked the hell out of this cholo. And I was like, shouldn't have been talking shit.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have been talking. You know what I mean? The guy was so like patient and just like, dude, please just don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. Don't, please, dude, just stop. And at some point it's like, I've had enough.
Where I lived with the high school that I went to back then, if you wore, and this is the part that fucked up things back in the day, if you were a Cowboy fan in Oxnard. Like back then, Oxnard, the gangs took the cowboy symbol as there was a town called Colonia. Mm-hmm. So if you take the word cowboys and you remove the W, it spells out CO boys, Colonia boys, right?
Yeah.
So if you're wearing that in the south side of Oxnard, it's not a good thing. People at random cowboy fans got shot at.
Damn.
People were murdered for wearing a cowboy jersey and can have a haircut like mine, bro.
Yeah.
But wrong place, wrong time. So I was in high school at Wanimi High School, and these guys came up to me. You can't be wearing that shit around here. I'm like, well, I'm a Cowboy fan. And they're like, nah, you can't be wearing that shit around here. So they waited till after school, and I had 5 kids whip my ass. I got home with a fucking shirt torn up and shit.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I remember one day, maybe I was 17 years old, and we lived in the trailer park. And for my Oxnard listeners, the trailer park in Pleasant Valley. And my mom had just bought me this like badass Dallas Cowboy jacket, or I bought it. I think I was babysitting the kids. I was getting paid for that, so I got this. It was this kind of like a snow type jacket.
Okay.
And I was wearing it. I don't know why I decided to go to the end of the street, outside of the trailer park property on the sidewalk, and this homie gets like these guys pull up, and they both tell me, "You can't be wearing that shit. Can't be wearing that shit." And then, so I said nothing. I kept quiet. So one homie drops off the other homie, and then the homie driving drives off. So now I got brave. I'm like, hey, man, why don't you come take it off of me? Okay. So we fast forward. This was back in 1999, maybe 2000, right? This guy who being a homie walked across the street into the liquor store, did his thing, and walked away. Didn't come up to me and didn't ask me for my jacket. He didn't take it off of me. He didn't beat it off of me. So we fast forward to 2024. Can we do that shit now?
No.
Can our kids do that shit now?
So there was an incident when Haley was still in high school. She was a junior, right? Haley's gonna be 19 now. She's gonna go into her second year of college. But when she was a junior in high school, there was an incident where somebody was saying some crap about her sister, right? This, that, and the other. And I was like, okay, so what's happening here? Like they talk to us. The other girls talk to us, and we're like, okay, so what's happening? And I told her, okay, so what are you gonna do? Like, what's happening here? What are you gonna do? You're the older sister. They're punking your little sister. What are you gonna do? So apparently Haley went over there and said, hey, stop fucking with my sister, or I'm gonna end up fucking you up.
Yeah.
Straight out, right? And this is the first and last time I'm gonna tell you. So don't talk shit about my sister. Fast forward to when they were doing the whole what do they call them? Section leaders and shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, because of that incident, people were like, oh no, she can't be section leader. So she was opted out.
Blacklisted.
I was like, wow,
Yeah.
bro, really? For standing up for her sister? I was like, okay, cool. Another incident happened when they were smaller, and I said, I'm going to tell you this right now. I was like, you guys are a team. You guys are sisters. You guys are blood. I was like, you stand up for each other. So if you see your sister getting jumped, you motherfuckers better jump in. I don't care what the consequences are. We'll figure that after.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I've always told them to stick up for themselves. But I've always told them what they told me when I was little, which is don't go looking for the fight.
Yeah.
You know? Don't go looking. If you could avoid fighting at all costs, then by all means, avoid it. You know, try your best to just not get into altercations, right?
Yeah.
But if push comes to shove, and you need to throw hands, throw them. When I was little, I was in junior high, and my pops told me, okay, did you tell your teacher this? I was like, no. Well, I mean, I'm ready to fuck this kid up. And he's like, stop. He's like, I'm glad that you're telling me. I was like, let your teachers know what's going on. And let the kid know that if he keeps fucking with you,
Yeah.
you're going to light him up. I was like, okay, cool. So now my dad knew. I already told the kid. And then I had told the teacher. All right. And I had told the teacher more than once. And there was an altercation. And she came out and said, George, I'm going to call your dad. I was like, call him. He already knows what's up. I'm about to fuck this dude up. And she just looked at me with wide eyes and was like, oh, I can't stop this kid now.
Yeah.
I can't stop him. He already did everything he needed to do. He tried doing everything right. And now there's no stopping this kid from doing what he needs to do to take care of himself.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what kids nowadays don't have. You have to take those steps as to, hey, look, I'm going to tell you right now, don't fuck with me. Okay, cool. I already told you. I'm going to tell the teacher, hey, this kid's messing with me. I'm on my, my last fucking, straw. I'm about to do something. So you better let him know. And, all right, you tell her a second time. If nothing happens, fucking do what you got to do.
You met us back in October. Hasn't even been a year that we've known you, man. And you see my wife, she's shy.
Yeah.
Right? But you really saw her mama bear claws come out on that Christmas parade when the fucking guy was talking papas to the kids.
Yeah.
And you really saw her fucking pissed, man. She could have gone over there and beat the shit out of this guy if she could. She's told the stories too that when in junior high, some of the kids were fucking come and bully the little sister or whatever, and she fucking drop a kid on his ass and shit.
Yeah.
And but you don't. It's hard to tell our kids. I mean, for me, I got boys and shit, and it's hard for me to tell them. I bite my tongue when I try to tell them to defend themselves. Now that they're both in high school, they're both in the same school. I tell them, you guys are to have each other's back.
Yes.
You guys are to have 100%. Each other's back. And so there was this time where this kid was in the soccer team and was picking on Nick, and it's like, fuck it, just brush it off, kid. Brush it off. The old back in 2000, I would have been like, fuck your shit, and Mijo, give him a fucking punch in the fucking mouth. Shut him up.
Yeah.
And the kid was like, it got to the point where the kid ended up shoving his shoulders against Nick and dropping his stuff off. Like Nick would be on his lunch and the kid would come and close Nick's laptop while he's in the middle of a project or whatever. Or this kid went, like I said, the one that pissed me off was when the kid fucking shoulder checked Nick.
Yeah.
Right? Nick is not a fighter, dude.
Bro, if that was our era,
yeah,
that shoulder check would have been more than enough to get lit up.
Nick is not a fighter. He's not, dude. He avoids confrontations, and Julian's more of a little firecracker, but Nick's not that. No, Nick. So I told my son one day, I will commit a felony for you.
Oh yeah.
If someone ever fucking lays a hand on you.
1,000%.
And so that was before. And then when I found out, I was pissed. But it's like at the point, as a father, as an adult, you can't go to the school and grab this kid by the shirt and just let him have it. I can't. So at the same time, I just wait
till they turn 18.
At the same at the same time,
just kidding.
At the same time, calling the school is only going to cause more problems, right? So I called the school. I did call the school, and I didn't want to tell the person my name. I didn't want to tell. I don't want to say my son's name. I just said, this is the situation. This is what's going on, and you guys need to have more security in your lunch area, where I get it. Staff's not what it used to be, but I need you guys to fucking pay attention. My son's being picked on, and it's pissing me off. Well, who's this kid? All I know is he's on a soccer team. Okay. After I made that call, within half an hour, my wife gets a phone call. And it's her brother. Who's picking on Nick? What? Well, what do you mean? Andy called the school and said somebody was picking on Nick.
Yeah.
What? I'm like, babe, I didn't even call the school. I didn't call the school. I called the school. Not that I didn't give any names. How does he know? He goes, because I had mentioned to my mom that somebody was picking on Nick.
Yeah.
So Letty was already kind of like doing her thing on the side, because Letty knew that the kid, my brother-in-law, was the kid's coach.
Yeah.
He fucking told him, if you mess with my nephew again, I will kick you out of the team.
Yeah.
You are my star of this team. But if you mess with my nephew again, I'll kick you out.
Oh, when you talk about mama bears, that my mom would not hesitate. If we tell her, she'd go up to the school and be like, hey, look, my son or my daughter's getting picked on. I'm not responsible for what happens to the kid if my child fucks them up.
Yeah.
And she would go straight to the principal and be like, no, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to no secretaries or this to the council. I'm talking straight to the principal, and I'm letting you know right now.
Yeah.
My kid's getting picked on. He's already told me, or she's already told me, right? They're trying to hang in there, and I've already told them not to do anything. So I'm coming to you, and I'm letting you know. The first thing out of their mouth was, did he tell the teacher? That was the first thing. And my mom would be like, you know what? I'm letting you know.
Yeah.
So if he or if my son or my daughter does something to that kid, I'm not going to be responsible for that.
And I think that's what I believe. I remember that's what I told. I told the school or someone. I know I said it. You damn best believe I am not going to be one of those parents that find their kid in their closet because they hung themselves.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, my brother-in-law checked the kid, and when they found out that Nick is Coach Barrett's nephew. Oh, my son was the fucking king of the school. Nobody fucked with him. Oh, you don't fuck with that kid. That's Coach Barrett's nephew.
Yeah.
So he had a they left him alone. They 100% nobody looked this way. Nothing. But then we have recent events where now you have kids in the band, and now you have seniors that are leaving, and you have these the juniors or the sophomores trying to come up and take over certain roles or whatever. And, my son gets put in that situation again where it's like, well, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. And, you have certain individual talking papas at me because he doesn't like me.
Right.
You can hear him whispering in other people's ears. What's funny? Watching Game of Thrones, I started laughing. Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, where they call the guy a master of whispers. Okay. Whisper whispers. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, there was one at school.
Okay, but here's the thing. I know I have daughters and you have sons.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I had sons, I'd be the same way. I'd be like, look, this is what's going to happen. These are the steps you need to take. You know somebody's talking crap about you.
Yeah.
Go up to them and be like, look, man, I know you're talking trash. I'm going to let you know right now. If you got something to say, tell me to my face. If you don't have anything to tell me, I don't want to hear anything coming out of you.
Well, this is what we did. So it's hard because these are now kids in the band. And
either way though, like, dude, I do not put up with that nonsense.
You and I are both band boosters.
Yeah.
So I told my wife, do I retaliate by not taking pictures of this kid? Like, fuck this kid. I don't care. I'm cool with his dad. Not your kids, because you have females. It was a kid. It was a boy. And I'm like, I'm cool with his kid's dad. Do I not fucking take pictures of his kid and say, fuck this kid? Or what do I do? And then the mistake that one of the kids made was come up to Julian. And they told Julian the chisme about Nick.
Okay.
And Julian's like, you do know Nick's my brother, right? You do understand that I'm going to tell him, right?
Exactly.
So Julian, I go pick him up from school, and, Julian's Julian, and Nick's bombed out. I'm like, what happened, kid? Nick doesn't really open up to me right away. He opens up to mom. And he told mom what happened. And so then mom tells me. And I'm like, who's doing what now? Who said what now? I'm like, do you have both those kids on Instagram? He goes, yeah. Start a group chat with both of them right now. Call them out on their shit right now. Both of them.
Oh, yeah.
See, the thing that I struggle with, and I was vented to you with, is how can I tell my son? But back in the day, we would have told our kids, go and put this kid in his place.
Right.
Go fucking slap the taste out of his mouth.
Correct.
But nowadays we have the fact we have people right away pull out their fucking phones. You can't even go and raise your voice because you'll have 10 phones already recording before you even commit a crime.
Oh, definitely.
So, one, I can't tell my son to go slap him in the mouth because either that kid can have a knife or come back the next day and bring a knife or a gun. You see that more often. I mean, you see that over and over again where kids come back. I had to have a conversation with both the boys a few years ago, and I think it was the Uvalde thing, the Uvalde shooting.
Oh, okay.
And I sat them both down and I told the boys, I'm like, mijo, you are too sensitive and you let people get under your skin real easy. I don't need you to be the shooter, man. I don't need you to be a shooter, man. I need you to fucking relax.
Yeah.
And then I looked at Jojo, and I don't need you to be anyone's target. He's a fucking bully, dude.
Yeah.
You can be a bully.
And I do the same thing with Chloe. I was like, Chloe, you need to chill out.
Yeah.
Because your mouth is going to get you in trouble, girl.
Yeah.
And I've told her since she was like this tall.
Same here.
For the same reason.
Same here.
Same reason.
We cannot tell our kids to defend themselves anymore.
Yeah.
Because if we do, it can backfire. It can, like I said, if I tell Nick, we'll slap that kid's taste out of his mouth, and then Nick does, Nick will probably lose the fight, or fucking this kid will, regardless, because I'm saying my son's not a fighter, the guy can pull out a knife. You just don't know what's in their backpacks nowadays.
I completely understand that for sure, but I've always been, I don't know if it's just because I'm quote unquote girl dad or whatever, right? But I've always told them, hey, I need you to toughen up. I need you to toughen up. I need you to, hang in there, because you don't need to start I don't need you to look ridiculous in front of people. Yeah. I don't need you to start a spectacle. So I said, I need you to chill out and assess the situation. I need you to just kind of look and see what exactly is happening. I think if someone is really messing with you and bugging you, right? Hey man, take the proper channels. Go to teachers, go to the principal if you have to, and say, hey, such and such is bugging me. I'm up to here with their nonsense. If something doesn't stop, I'm going to take matters in my own hands. My parents already know. I've already talked to them.
Yeah.
Right? So now you're going to the higher ups. You're going to the main guy of the school and letting them know. My parents know. I'm up to here. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to fuck this kid up.
Yeah.
I need you to do something. Right? And I've always told them to go through these channels. Let us know what's happening. If we need to, we'll go and talk. My mom was like that, dude. I got jumped when we lived in Inglewood. I got jumped, right? And my mom's like, "Where do these kids live?" And I was like, "I'm not gonna tell you." She said, "You better tell me right now where these kids live." And I was like, "They live over here or whatever." You know? She's like, "Okay, get in the car. Let's go." My mom took me to this kid's apartment, talked to his mom, and I lost all kinds of fucking street cred, bro. Like I was like, you should have just let me get jumped. I would have taken care of it before.
If I remember from the first time you were on the podcast, didn't your mom save you from like the mafia or some bullshit like that? What makes you think she's not gonna save you from a bunch of bullies?
my mom went to, because when I was little in El Salvador, the whole Civil War situation. Yeah, I got kidnapped. Apparently, according to her, apparently it's true. I got kidnapped, and then she went to, hey, I need my fucking son back.
So you're saying based on her story?
Yeah.
What you just told me right now, do you now believe it now?
I believe it. You know what I mean? I believe it. But the thing about it is when you're a teen, or like, I guess preaching, because it happened in middle school.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm talking about 6th grade. I was fresh in, dude. And I lived in Inglewood. I knew the consequence. I knew, we were going back and forth. But this dude that I had beef with had his 2 buddies that he called cousins, and they jumped me. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, oh. And I had my sister with me. We went up to the liquor store. I had my sister with me. And I saw what was going to happen. I said to her, hey, I need to just run. She's like, what? I was like, get the fuck out of here. Run.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? Booked it to the house. I guess she told my mom. And I'm over here, like, going to the house like, oh, fuck, I just got jacked up. And she's like, nope, we're going right now. I was like, fuck. But the thing is, like, okay, I got sorted out, but my mom wasn't going to be like, hey.
But you're more concerned about your street cred.
As a kid, you're living in Inglewood and this, that, and the shit gets around school, man. They're like,
I'm a bitch.
You're a bitch. Exactly. So I was like, nah, man, I can't have that.
Yeah.
But what my mom didn't know is I had beef with that kid since elementary school. We'd go back and forth fighting constantly.
Yeah.
And it was just a thing, man. And when she saw, now my baby's getting hurt, she took matters into her own hands.
But not one gun or knife was pulled.
Exactly.
In those years of you guys beefing.
And the thing about it is, you think that these kids are gonna pull something out on you, right? Which here's where mental health comes into play. Okay? If somebody doesn't stand up for themselves, that's where the whole mental issue kicks in, because you're just letting yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody's telling you, hey man, you need to stick up for yourself, for what you believe in. You know what I'm saying? Stick up for yourself. Nobody is telling these kids that, and that is a big issue, man.
When I had Nick confront these 2 kids through text, like on the Snapchat, on the Instagram chat, I'm gonna create a chat, put them both on there, and my wife's like, and I'm gonna tell you what to say, or I can fucking type it for you.
Yeah.
And it just make it sound like it's you. So pretty much after the end of that conversation, one of the individual that went up to Julian and told Julian what the other person was saying, threw that other person under the bus. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, right, dude, it wasn't me, blah blah blah. This is what I heard from so and so, and then Nick's like, well, okay, then where did you hear it from? Mm-hmm. And that person didn't say anything because it was this person that was saying it. So so we told Nick, here's the thing, mijo. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, I can't be biased. I am the team's photographer. I have to take pictures of everybody. I can't not take pictures of some of these kids. So what's going to happen is either, if they're complaining about whatever they're complaining about you, if they're saying your hair's too fucking
poofy or whatever the fuck it is,
then come back the next day, fucking comb it like fucking wherever you want, or even worse. Yeah. Who gives a shit? If they're saying you're bad at this instrument, prove them wrong.
Yeah.
Prove them wrong.
Success is a big fucking...
If they say you don't show up to practices on a daily basis, then prove them wrong. And then, because one of the individuals, a different individual, told him in front of everybody to shut up, right? I told him, then match his energy. Mm-hmm. Match his energy. That's all you got to do. So I guess that same kid came up to Nick and said, hey, Nick, how you doing? And Nick's like, shut up! I'm like, and Nick came out to the car all proud and shit. I told him to shut up. I'm like, good. It's sad. Yeah. Just tell him to shut up instead of slapping him in the mouth, But my son was proud that he told the kid to shut up.
Yeah.
He goes, Dad, I just do what you told me to do. I just match his energy. When he's rude,
it's because it's all about sticking up for yourself. Yeah. And that's, like I said, that's what a lot of kids don't have. A lot of kids are just what we call se huevan. You know what I mean? They're like, get down on themselves. They don't know how to react when somebody's like that. The big issue with that is if you don't stand up for yourself as a kid, if you don't, put your foot down, when you get out of school, And I'm talking about high school. I'm talking about getting out of college, right? Hey man, those books aren't going to help you out with the corporate, world. When you go into a job, it's gonna be hell. There's always gonna be people talking shit. There's always gonna be people that are gonna wanna
coffee pot's over. Turns up.
There's always gonna be people that are gonna be talking shit about you behind your back. There's always gonna be somebody that wants your job. There's always gonna be something, and you have to stick up for yourself. In the real world, nobody cares about your feelings. So if you don't stick up for yourself, that's when we start having the issue.
And that's what I told my son. I'm like, mijo, if you don't nip shit like this in the butt now, then as an adult, how do you expect to nip shit in the ass? Like, no. And I bring up, like, there's certain topics, like, even if it's just family issues, like, fucking my mother-in-law the other day, she was like, hey, I was going to ask Andy if he can come over and adjust the Wi-Fi box. But I don't know how to ask him. My wife's like, Mom. Just ask him. Mom, Andy will jump for you.
Yeah.
I said, what? She's like, yeah, Mom, if Andy hears anybody bad-mouthing you, he doesn't take it like he fucking checks him right there and then.
Yeah, that's how I am with my mother-in-law.
You and Andy may not see certain things eye to eye, but Mom, he has so much respect for you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask him, he's going to jump. Now, if somebody else asks him and they have a spouse capable of doing it themselves, he's going to tell them to fuck off.
Yeah.
When it comes to
I got into an altercation. Obviously, there was no fist getting thrown around or anything. But I got on somebody at Costco, you know what I mean, defending my mother-in-law, and the girls were little, so I think one of them was like still in the stroller or something, or she was in the cart, and I fucking checked some dude.
Yeah.
And he was like, "This is none of your business." Like, motherfucker, that's my mother-in-law, that's my child.
Yeah.
Like, you watch what the fuck you say. Yeah. And the thing is, like, right away, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, yeah, you're not getting your sample today, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Get fucking going. You know what I mean? And the thing is like, if you don't do that, people think that they can get away with a lot. And they can. They'll get away with as much as they can until you put your foot down.
Exactly.
And we're not teaching our kids that. Our kids are just soft. And the thing is like, you have to teach them that in the real world, all that softness is not going to work out. And that's where the whole mental health thing happens. The whole, I'm so depressed, I have this issue and that issue and the other issue, and that's where weapons come out. And because you don't know how to defend yourself, now you think that you need to up the ante, and if somebody fucks with you, I'm gonna pull the knife on. It's a big fucking
Let's
problem.
go to the speech that I'm gonna remember. I don't remember the guy's name, but in Boys in the Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you a man now? Because you got a gun? That makes you a man? You got to use your fist. And like the speech that he was giving him.
I think that was Friday, bro.
No. It wasn't Boys in the Hood.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't Boys in the Hood. I just recently watched it, dude. I had the boys watch it too. Because I always said, you want to see a dead body?
Okay, yeah.
And it was when they killed Rick. Spoiler alert, when they killed Ricky.
Okay.
And then so homeboy is covered in blood and his pants are covered in blood.
Yeah.
Because he was just holding Ricky. He goes to the house and he finds the gun, and the dad and then I think the girlfriend calls the dad, and the dad is like, "What's happening?" It's I don't forget the kid's name. He's all upset, he's all mad. So then he's, "Oh, fine, I'll talk to him." And then he goes to the house and he finds him with the gun in his hand, and he tells him, "So you think you're a man?" Like, and it's like he was quick to go grab that gun, but he had his father there to fucking tell him, to what's up.
Same thing in Friday. So he went to go look for Debo, right?
Yeah.
And he got the gun. And his dad walks in on him. And he's like, "What are you doing with that?" And he's like, "Oh, Smokey's in trouble." And he goes, "So you think that makes you a man?"
Yeah, same shit. The same speech.
You see that? You think that makes you a man? And he's like, "I'm a man without it." He's like, "Put the gun down."
Yeah.
He's like, "Now put your dukes up." He's like, "Now you a man."
Yeah.
And so then when he goes and he finds Debo, he's like, "Man, I ain't even trying to fight you," And Debo's like, "Oh well." He pulls out a knife, and Debo's like, "Nah, here, hold this. We're about to throw down." And so then he remembered the speech from his dad. He's like, "You win some, you lose some, but you're a man."
Yeah.
So they duked it out. No weapons, no nothing. And the thing is, like, okay, that's what we need to start teaching these kids again. Like, dude, you can't think that you're gonna escalate from going fist to fist, right? And hey, man, we squashing it. or we're not that, like, that's it, right? To now you're committing a straight up felony or even murder.
Yeah.
Do you want to go down that route? And a lot of people don't say that.
We no longer I heard this quote a while back. We live in a world full of Kardashians. We need
that makes a lot of sense without you having to explain it.
I don't have to explain it. We need more TV dads.
Yeah.
You watch, like I'm watching Smallville, and you see the heart-to-heart talks that Mr. Kent has with Clark. Mm-hmm. You don't see that nowadays.
Bro,
Boys in the Hood.
A lot of Carl Winslow's. You know what I mean? Like, we need that.
Uncle Phil. We don't have those.
Definitely.
We don't have those anymore. And I'm glad that I'm showing my kids these old TV shows. I recently started watching Alf with them.
Oh, wow. Nah. But you know what?
Rest in peace, a little boy who recently died.
But you know what? Those are the ones that, like, when you would watch those shows, there was a lesson that came with that.
Yeah.
There's no lessons anymore.
No more.
There's none of that. And you would watch it and be like, oh, shit.
You know how
it hits you.
You know,
it gets you right in the feelings because you're like, I feel like I'm kind of going through this shit. Dude, even when you would watch Boy Meets World, there was some kind of lesson that came with that.
Yeah. Yep.
You don't have lessons in TV shows anymore. You just have nonsense.
You know the song where it said TV killed the radio star?
Yeah.
Well, nowadays reality killed TV.
Oh, definitely. 100%.
Because like I said, we go back to that. It's like we no longer have those TV dads. We don't have that, dude. And like sometimes I catch myself and I feel like when I'm talking to the boys, I'm like, fuck, I'm a TV dad right now.
Yeah. And then, you know what? And there's nothing wrong with that. And people need to notice that there is nothing wrong with that. You know, I may be a very old school in my thinking. I'm pretty sure you're old school in your thinking too, but I think you're a little bit more cautious in what you tell your kids, which is cool. And I'm a little bit more fucking like a firecracker, man. Like, I'll tell the girls, look, dude, I need you to fucking get it going. You know what I mean? Like, I need you to step up to this kid, or I need you to do certain things. But because they're girls, I don't need them to get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Right. And two, I need them prepared for the real world. I don't need them thinking, oh, it's all going to be hunky dory, and then you get slapped in the face when you go get your first job. We can't have that. So I understand your sentiment, and I think that we're both old school, but you're a little bit more cautious than I am because I think you have boys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think if I had boys, I still wouldn't be as cautious. But, you know, I'd probably have to tell them a little bit different because boys are a lot different from girls.
Well, it's like one of my brothers called me and he was like, hey, man, so-and-so came to live with me. And how do I tell him he needs to go? Because he lived with you for a little while. What did you do? I'm honestly, and this is why I feel I'm cautious. I didn't talk to my brothers. Some of them, I still don't talk to them. Some of them I didn't talk to for like 8 years. Some of them I didn't talk to for 12 years. So, you know what I mean? So this individual, he was here, he stayed here, and I bit my tongue because I was like, even my brother Danny, you know Danny, even Danny was like, dude, you gotta put some cojones on, bro. You gotta fucking check this kid. And I told my wife and I told Danny, I was like, the thing is that I haven't had my brother in my life for so long that if I check him or something, I feel I'm gonna lose him. And until he raised his voice to my wife, that's when I lost my shit.
Yeah.
I'm your brother. I'm family. And motherfucker, my family's in the house.
Yeah.
You're just my brother.
Yeah.
And obviously he don't like that very much, so he took off. And but I feel like I'm very cautious. Like I was at church last Sunday, and I was like, because I was checking my son. I'm like, you're going to practice on Monday, but the coach canceled. I'm like, you're supposed to prove those kids wrong. You're going to practice. And in a sense, he made it seem like we're too hard on him, right? So the entire time at Mass, I was just fucking angry and pissed. And on the way home, when we got home, that's why I came in the room and started organizing shit. I just wanted to be away. And I told my wife, like, what the fuck, dude? The last person that I told me that I was too hard on him, another one of my brothers, hasn't spoken to me in like 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
Or 3 years, yeah, because I was too hard on him.
But the thing is, you're prepping your kids for the real world.
Exactly. So it's like I go back to the comment that one of my brothers made back, 3 years ago, that I was too hard on him. But then I'm like, I'm the same with my kids. How is it that you're taking it because he grew up in a different generation? He grew up in a different time frame of where he lived at. He didn't live. That's what my brother Alex told me one day. He goes, we have more respect for you because you actually raised us. You fucking, you changed our diapers. You took us to school. So it's like, it's kind of hard when we're, back and forth with our mother because, we don't want to disappoint you as well. So, and I didn't know that, I didn't know that. But when you have the younger ones that weren't raised by me, they didn't, they have no respect for me whatsoever. So it's like, I walk in eggshells because I don't want my kids to one day not respect me and do it. I've lost so much in my life that I don't want to. I lost my daughter for 3 fucking years.
Right.
And I don't want to I don't want to lose. I tell my wife I don't want to lose my kids, and it's like walking on eggshells. You know what I mean?
I'm very passionate when I talk to the girls, right? And when they tell me certain things, I get pissed, bro. Like I
did too.
I was like, "Fuck!"
Yeah.
And I tell them like, "This, that."
That's what we don't like to tell Dad because he gets mad.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then Leslie comes out. She's like, "Why do you do that? Well, they're just trying to." I was like, "I'm just pisses me off. This, that, and the other." Okay. Later on, when I fucking cool down, I go up to the girl and I'm like, "Look, this is a situation. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you.
Yeah.
Right. I understand. This, that." I was like, "But you got to understand this, and the other. Right? Try doing this, and that, and then we'll see how that works out. If that doesn't work out, then we'll try something else." I was like, "I'm sorry. I just get mad because you're my kid and I can't do anything about it. I can't put hands on another kid." I was like, "So I need you to stand up for yourself. I need you to kind of like light a fire under your own butt and do something about it. I can't have you just be complacent with getting punked." And like when the whole COVID thing started, I told the girls, I was like, "I better not hear any bullshit about getting cyberbullied because that's nonsense."
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't give a shit." I was like, "If somebody's cyberbullying you, that means that they're punks and they can't do it to your face."
Exactly.
I was like, "So you know what? If they're cyberbullying you, just fucking block them."
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. That's how you take care of that.
That's simple.
I was like, it doesn't matter.
I saw real quick, make a joke out of it. I saw a photo the other day on Facebook that said how we used to block people back in the day, and it was a photo of 3 women and 2 of their heads were cut off. I know this topic can keep going and going around, George. It is a very touchy subject, and I know we can go on for another hour or two.
Oh, yeah.
But I am in the middle of your anniversary.
Yeah, definitely.
Congratulations. How many years?
19 years.
And I keep looking at the clock and the timer on the podcast because I don't want you to overstay and then you go home and I'm the one that gets in trouble. You kept them for too long.
Yeah.
So I myself need to go in the house. It's getting hot in here. But George, I mean, thank you for coming on, bro. Like I said, I was bored and it's bored, man. I'm bored this week.
Yeah, I think people like you and me, we're not meant for
vacations.
For staying at
unless
home vacations.
During this time last year, we were in Cancun.
Yeah.
During this time 2 years ago, we were in Nueva Vallarta.
Yeah.
And like I told the wife,
we just can't stay at home.
I told the wife exactly.
Vacation.
I told the wife, I already did fucking. I can't do no more yard work until the trash cans get emptied out. Right. So that part's done, and so. I told her we didn't go on vacation this year because I told the wife if we don't have enough in our savings for 2 years, for 2 trips, there's no point in going because we came back from vacation last year and we haven't been able to. We have a savings account and we have a fund savings account. Mm-hmm. That fund savings account has been stuck at $1,000 for a year now.
Oh wow!
We haven't been able to make it $6,000 like we normally do because the economy sucks.
Yeah.
It's bad. Hashtag Trump 2020. 2024.
2024.
And I just, like I told the wife, we just can't go. So I just do a staycation and then do some yard work stuff that I've been neglecting in the backyard. And then you're not the first podcast this week. I have a few scheduled and just to freaking just keep me busy.
Oh yeah.
The wife's working anyways. The boys go to practice, so it's like
yeah, you got to keep yourself entertained.
What about Bob?
Yeah.
So, thank you for making the trip on your anniversary.
Yeah, man,
and,
definitely.
Like I end every podcast, George, thank you for riding with me.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you for listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Indie Podcast. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean.